Welcome to the Wealth Transfer with TC. Today I'm going to talk about the Kim Clement original prophecy dealing with the Iraqi dinar. Now this is very important because you have a lot of people, whether it's in the prophetic or whether they are just making dinar videos every single day and giving dates and time frames and giving rates and all that stuff. And all of these people have been wrong every single time. And we need to deal with this because, first of all, you need to stop spending so much time watching dinar videos every single day. And people need to take that time out to learn how to trade in the crypto markets and the stock market. If you want to trade the currency markets, learn how to swing trade, learn how the economy works, learn how the markets work. Because it wasn't just about the dinar when Kim Clement was speaking, and he talked about other investments. One of the things that people are going to really need to learn is go look at the story of Moses and the Hebrews when they were on their journey to the promised land. And we'll get into some of that. Before I go any further, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just sharing information, giving my thoughts and my opinions on that information. If you guys like these videos that I make, the support links are down below in the description and also the comment section. Now, the Iraqi dinar, this is the time when it's going to revalue. There's been a lot of people that have followed Kim Clement for a very long time. I started following him back in 2006 when it all dealt with Hurricane Katrina and all that. And he actually didn't give a prophecy about the dinar until around 2011, and then he had a few more after that, all the way up until 2015. And specifically, he said when it was going to happen. He didn't give a date, but he gave you the prophetic clues when it was going to happen. Now, concerning the events surrounding the dinar revaluation, and you guys need to hear this so you guys stop wasting so much time, because it's not going to happen beforehand. It's not going to happen because some other prophet spoke a time frame, which they have. But this is what Kim Clement said on November the 22nd, 2013. I spoke recently about the Dow at 20,000 points. All of this connects to a massive breakthrough with regard to the dinar. Now, the Dow was below 20,000 when he gave that prophecy. And when it hit 20,000, people were saying, oh, he falsely prophesied, but they didn't look at all the other prophecies. They picked and selected that particular prophecy. And this is when he said it was going to revalue. On May 17th of 2014, when he was prophesying, he said, therefore, there shall be a break in the financial system in the Middle East, the dinar. And then they shall say, why? Why now? And God said, when things seem at their worst, I shall bring it forth and I shall free them up. So when you put those two prophecies together concerning the dinar, right, there are other prophecies too that's relating to this, but these are the two most important prophecies when it relates to the timing. And it's going to be when things seem at their worst, and also when the Dow is below 20,000. So you had to have those two key components. And there are other components like the Israel war in Palestine and Iran and all that. There's going to be a massive war breakout that's related to this, but I'm not focused on that part. It's when things seem at their worst. So when the time comes and the RV happens, all you need to do is sit and wait for instructions. Don't call any 1-800 numbers. Don't try to go to any pop-up redemption centers. You wait for instructions from the banking system at the time that it happens, because if you don't wait, you're going to lose it. And you're not going to have to travel to England or to anywhere else to exchange your dinar. You're going to have a time limit, more than likely, as far as so many days, probably 3 weeks to a month at the very most, and then that's it. Now I want to share this short clip from the Iraq Prime Minister. He's asked a question about revaluing the dinar.
Another question about the Iraqi dinar. Is the government thinking of reevaluating the dinar and readjusting the value of the dinar due to the current circumstances in the market? Or do you see it to stay the same?
This policy actually is dictated by the central bank, and the government abides by what the bank decides. Right now, I believe we are in the best status that we could be in, and we have actually had an assessment which has given much trust, trust at a higher level from different global parties. So we started reforms when it comes to the banking sector. And when we spoke about that before, but this is going to actually raise the level of, or the value of the Iraqi dinar. And there is actually a policy that is consistent policy that has been the central bank is using when it comes to investments and how they invest the money for our own reserves here in Iraq. Of course.
So from the Prime Minister of Iraq himself, he talks about the Iraqi dinar revaluation. It's going to happen, folks. It's been confirmed physically and spiritually. And we have prophetic confirmation on the Dow being actually below 10,000. And if you guys remember the video that I did on Greg Mason, he was the earliest person to talk about how low the Dow was going to go. The markets are going to crash, and to prepare yourself. And that's the whole thing about the instructions that were given relating to this wealth transfer, this moment in time. And that is to wait. You buy it and you wait. You wait till things seem at their worst. You wait for the Dow when things seem at their worst. And that's it. But we have a lot of people that are trying to prophesy certain things and trying to, you guys have these prayer groups and all these other things that you're trying to prophesy and bring forth the dinar when clearly the prophetic word given says exactly when it's going to happen. Now, I got into the dinar based off of individual dreams from other people who told me about the dinar back in 2009. All right, you can't find any of those dreams anymore for the simple fact that all those dinar sites have been shut down. So when we discussed it back then, people were having individual dreams. Kim Clement, as far as from a prophet, he gave the timing on this. And, we've had people try to prophesy when the dinar is going to happen. And it's obvious that they're not even paying attention to the original major prophecy given by Kim Clement. People like Robin Cunningham, Manuel Johnson, Brett Watson, Caroline Dennis, Brandon Biggs. They have all given false prophetic words relating to the dinar revaluation. Now, it's not just people in the prophetic, and I think some of those people actually got those prophecies from dinar gurus because the dinar gurus have been predicting the revaluation for a long time. And you have people like Melanie Hines, who's always giving dates and rates, and she brings up the prophetic and God and all this, but she never brings up Kim Clement. And the reason why is because then nobody would pay attention to listening to dinar videos every single day. And that's what God does not want. People have made the dinar their God. And you guys know more about the Iraqi economy than you do your own economy. Just as an example, now there's a new rate of 481, right? And she calls the dinar revaluation all the time. She says it's done. Everything's been signed. And here are the dates. Yes, she's done it over and over again, as you can see here. A month ago, the rate was $1.57. Then it was $1.30 or $1.31. $1.23, military intel, the same thing over and over. This has been going on her channel for years and years, and she's been lying about the dinar revaluation. She claims that she has secret intel from the military that's giving her these things, and yet she puts that off onto the dinar community, and some of you even that I know watch her. In order for her channel to survive, she has to keep doing this over and over again. Right? Nobody has any secret intel. Nobody's on the inside. Every single dinar guru has said the same thing. They have secret intel, right? And this is just a one-time event, folks. Once the dinar revaluation is done, you're going to have a certain amount of time to turn it in, just like all the other currencies that change over, and that's it. There's not going to be a second chance for another revaluation of the dinar. You know, not only that, she promotes redemption centers and 1-800 numbers, and I'm telling you, folks, there have been a lot of Iraqi dinar scammers that have taken that information and scammed a lot of people. You can see this article here where these people had actually taken $7 million worth of dinar, and other people have taken millions of dollars worth of dinar from people saying, I can get you a better rate. These people will actually come to your home and pick up your dinar, and you'll never hear from them again. And these are the kind of things that have happened, and these are the things that are being promoted right now. And I'm going to do a full video on this because a lot of people are going to be deceived when this event happens. So this is when the dinar is going to revalue. When the Dow is below 20,000 points and when things seem at their worst, and the other prophecies that connect deal with a major outbreak of war in Israel and Iran. Right? It's not going to happen in any of the prophets' timing. They've already had their chance and they missed it. You know, and recently Huntington Bank stopped selling the dinar because you guys wouldn't stop calling the banks asking about the dinar RV. You think these people are actually going to know anything about that? And you guys are going in there and setting up bank accounts and all this stuff, and guess what they did? They stopped selling the dinar because you went in there thinking that Huntington Bank knows everything about the dinar RV, and then you realize that all these YouTubers that were talking about Huntington Bank, and I'm going to get into that in another video, and they were making it seem like the banks were in the know of the dinar RV. Now, when it comes to the dinar, it's only going to revalue when the Dow is back down below 20,000. It's currently at 46,000 points. Because of the dinar, it's going to go back up to 20,000, right? And it's going to happen when things seem at their worst on a global scale. Now, people thought back in 2014 and 2018, you know, things were really bad in Iraq, you know, with ISIS and all that stuff. So a lot of people did think, including myself, thinking that it was around that time. Then we had the virus, and people thought that it was the worst. But other prophecies like the Israel and Iran war and the Great Surrender was not taking place during that time period. That massive breakout of war did not happen. It is right now. The economy and the stock market are disconnected from one another. The end of the crypto cycle is coming up. You have this whole thing with Russia and Ukraine, Israel and Hamas, and also Iran. All that's going to explode, and it's going to make it seem like when things seem at their worst. All right, so spend your time doing other things than watching dinar videos. Stop focusing on the dinar and focus what is ahead of you. It's not going to revalue before crypto, during the peak of crypto. It's only going to revalue when things seem at their worst. So prepare for it in that way. And I'll leave you guys with this. When Moses was leading the Hebrews out of Egypt, the one thing that they had to do, they couldn't do. And a lot of them died off before getting to the promised land. And that was to follow instructions. They went after other gods because things weren't coming soon enough. They went after other prophets who led them to their death. You follow instructions. You buy it, you hold it. You don't focus on it. You don't make it your God. You sit back and you wait. And during that time period, you focus on learning how to trade, learning about the market so you can increase your talents that you have received. Because Kim Clement gave 8 wells. How are you going to invest in the other wells when you're just focused on the dinar? Now, the fire point, the big E, and the oak tree, that comes right after the dinar revaluation. That is the second well. And the stock is getting ready to be released in 2 to 3 months. And when the dinar revaluation happens, you know what? If a lot of the stocks haven't been bought up by the dinar RV, it will be at that time. You know, folks, if you just take some time out to learn how to trade and at least learn about the markets, at least you have a basic understanding, you will do 100 times better, I promise you, because I was one of those people who was trying to trade off the prophetic, and it doesn't work. So follow the instructions so you don't fall off the path like some of the Hebrews did when they were going to Israel. So just sit back and wait and stop listening to some of these prophets and gurus who are constantly trying to take you off the path. So that's all that I have for this today. I thank you guys for listening. God bless.